In the 50s, while Gnoo Blas was going, they had trouble getting title races because Mountain Panorama had them all. They had to invent things in Orange. They turned around and they invented the South Pacific Championships. They even ran a New South Wales Grand Prix because Bathurst had the Australian Grand Prix at that time. So when CAMS brought out a new category for touring cars, Appendix J, they were smart enough to apply for the Australian Touring Car Championship, and they were granted that, so the first Australian Touring Car Championship was run there in 1960. David Mackay in the Jaguar won it, and Bill Pitt from Queensland in the Jaguar was second, and Ron Hodgson, the Sydney motor dealer, was third. So the Jaguars were 1, 2, 3, and then the next 8 placings were all Holdens. Mackay set a lap record out there, and he was doing about 135, I think, earlier miles per hour through the flying quarter. They had 50 entries, 50 cars entered, 44 started, and there were about 12 different makes of cars, unlike the V8s now. There was a swag of Holdens, there was the 3 Jaguars that were first, second and third, Morris Majors, Wolseley's, there was little Fiat 500s that had every make of car that you could think of. It was 27 laps of the track, and they were pretty fast laps because the main straight, which is now Forest Road, the Jaguars are doing over 135 miles per hour through a flying quarter down there. The Gnoo Blas race, I think they reckon there's about 20,000 people there, which you don't know. The figures were probably a little bit rubbery, but there was a big crowd. I was in a Morris Major and you know, went real well. It was the car that in a lot of them too in that race, it was the cars that you raced on the weekend and you drove them to work on Monday morning. And the Morris Major I had, they were good. They were 1500 cc engines, and they were the same engine basically that were in the MGAs, MGBs. The Major I had, well, it was doing just over 100 miles an hour through the flying quarter, which is not bad for a sedate, really family car. That was all they were. And I only got lapped once, I think, by the Jaguars. They went past me down the straight in a huge rush. But it went well all day, and I finished 4th in the 1500cc class. It was an amazing race because we had a shower of rain through the middle of it, and the leading Jaguars had bits of problems. Mackay spun on what we call Mrs Mutton's corner, because Mrs Mutton lived in a little old house down the end of Huntley Road into Bloomfield Road, and he got going again. But before that, one of the Holdens rolled over on what they call Connigan's corner at the back of the circuit, which was off camber, round to the right, and it was a flat-out corner. It was really the worst corner on the track. Well, when I say worst, it was probably the best corner, but it was pretty, you know, you had to go around it flat out, and one of the Holdens rolled over on that corner midway through the race because of the shower of rain. One of the Zephyrs pulled up, and Des West, who was, people would know, motorsport enthusiasts would know, he pulled up to help him. And so they're all out helping this bloke get out of his car, which was upside down, and Mackay, who was sort of duelling with the other 2 Jaguars, got on the scene, and from his own book, it's not making it up, he turned around and he called out to the marshals, "Will someone move that Zephyr? I want to get through." And they didn't take any notice of him, so he just edged up to it with his bumper bar, pushed it out of the way, and away he went. I mean, there's no such thing then as safety cars and all that sort of business. It was just race, 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 and that's what he did. The car show that we're running is to commemorate the 60th anniversary of that race. It's on the 15th of February. Saturday's the car show in Sir Jack Brabham Park. And on the Saturday night we have an enthusiast dinner, which we get about 300 people. We have a run on the Sunday morning. We take them out around the district to show them our good scenic roads and give them morning tea somewhere out in the bush, and then bring them back to Cook Park, where they have prepared picnic lunches, and they go home saying, well, this is the best weekend we've ever had.